Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters cast. It is going to be awesome. Let's introduce the players. Down the bottom right side of the map, doing a hatch pool build, we have Mr. Golden, 20 years of age from South Korea, sponsored by Onaj. O-W-N-A-J. That's a very cool way of saying Onaj. And also sponsored by Clarity Gaming. I believe, according to Wikipedia, he's retired. Really? Yeah, retired as of October last year. Okay, which was, yeah, after this was cast, because this was WCS Season 3 of last year, which would have been, yeah, September, August, October, something like that. So very, very awesome stuff. And he is right now dealing with a Reaper. The Reaper belongs, we'll keep an eye on the Reaper. The Reaper belongs to Mr. Dayshi. He is the other player. He is 20 years of age, from France, plays for Team Millennium, and his Reaper just got slapped around by a bunch of Lings, which is very, very humiliating. It's like being beaten up by a bunch of toddlers. I mean, granted, this guy's like a 12-year-old, but even a 12-year-old knows that it's humiliating to be beaten up by a bunch of 6-year-olds. And the only reason he got beaten up is because there's so damn many of them. They just swarm around you. They just climb on top of you. They just start punching you. I don't know if it's even called punching. It's more like just you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like pushing. They're trying to punch you, but it just feels like a relaxing massager. It would, except there's like 10 of the damn little bastards, and they're so heavy that eventually you just fall over, and it's just not cool. It's just not cool. We got a Reaper. Can he get up here? Yeah, there's the ledge is over there. There he goes. Goes in, and the Queen says, "Hey, how's it going?" So if it wasn't enough for a whole bunch of toddlers to be picking on the Reaper, now the toddler's mama is out there, and she weighs like, I don't know, 200 kilos or something like that, 500 pounds for you Americans, and she's a big lady, and she just loves to smack people all over the place. Here we go, bunch of Marines coming out. I think we're going to stop with the aliases or whatever the hell I've been doing. Well, let's just get into the game, because otherwise we'll start doing aliases for everybody, and it's going to get ridiculous, and we're just going to lose sight of the actual game, which is going to suck. So, dropship coming out. Overlord scouts it out. Going to be seeing 4 Marines and a tank down the bottom side with the rocks. Oh yeah, it is going on. It is going to happen. Love this play. Absolutely love this play, because, of course, very, very hard for the Zerg player to do anything about this. As long as there is high ground vision, everything is going to go beautifully. Look at that. There's already a Spore Crawler in place. It gets moved over there. That's going to be scaring the medevac away. Now all he has to do is kill the Marines, and he is going to be good. But of course, the tank doing quite a lot of damage to the Queens. One Queen. Oh man, did you see that thing die? That was like the biggest, craziest explosion I've ever seen. So, where the hell did those Lings come from? I think they ran around the other side or something like that. But they actually hit on that attack very nice. And this attack, which can be so devastating, Golden did not hesitate at all. Look, let's analyze this for a sec. Number one, he moved the Spore Crawler out as fast as he could, because he knows the Spore Crawler chases the medevac away, and the medevac, you need the high ground vision for the tank to be able to target stuff. So great play there. The Marines dropped down from Dayshi. He had 3 Queens sniping the Marines. The Marines went down very, very fast. The danger with letting those Marines go is the Marines take out the Spore Crawler, and then you're pretty much sunk. And third, he got Lings running around the side. Absolutely doing beautiful stuff. Because, of course, the medevac can still scout out the Spore Crawler while being outside of the range of the Spore Crawler. So, in that case, the tank can slowly snipe down the Spore Crawler. And then, once the Spore Crawler goes down, the Terran can do all sorts of crazy stuff. So he had the Lings going around there to finish off the entire thing. Really, really liked the way that Golden did that. Oh man, those Hellions getting owned by Lings. This is just like, is basically, I don't know, man. Let's do the aliases thing again. I don't know, but let's just say the Hellion is a really fat guy in a scooter with a bucket of candy in his lap. And yeah, you know what happens when a whole bunch of toddlers see a bucket of candy. They just jump on top of it, and even a really fat guy in a motorized scooter cannot stand that many toddlers jumping on top of him. Oh man. And I don't know what the Hellion Flame is. You just have to let your imagination decide what the Hellion Flame is. But I can guarantee you he's not throwing candy at those kids. He's doing something else. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Viking running around, sniping overlords. Is he going to see an overlord here? Doesn't look like it. He's getting a little bit too close. There are queens in this area, which is not good. Another attack coming in with the lings. Or is it? It looks like they're just sort of running around, thinking about hitting the third base. Golden's timing is not too far off for getting into the third base. He's got to be expecting a third one to be coming down very, very soon. He's going to be hitting these Marines. Marine's going to be backing off. He goes straight in there. Sees the third base about to land. Puts a ling underneath it. Does he have burrow? He doesn't. He's just starting to research it. Unfortunate. If he had burrow, he could maybe have forced a scan from Dayshi. And Dayshi would not be happy about having a scan forced because, of course, it's a pain in the ass. I mean, that's 50 energy you could otherwise be spending on mules. So, would not be happy about that. So, the third base goes down. Golden has his fourth base currently going down. Worker numbers, beautiful for both players. Absolutely beautiful. Golden at a absolutely beautiful number of workers. Dayshi almost exactly 10 behind. Nobody is pushing out to an insane macro. Nobody is really behind where they need to be. Both players absolutely spot on standard where they need to be at this point of the game. So yeah, Golden looks like he is pushing out though. Looks like he does want that extra little edge, and 77 is going to give him that edge. Oh man, undefended siege tank. Golden, no, Dayshi leaving an undefended siege tank there. Nobody in the bunker. Ling's going nuts. Who the hell is in charge of this birthday party? Because it looks like the adults are not in attendance, and the kids just ran wild and destroyed half of the furniture. My god, what is going on here? Oh, look at all those links, man. A lot of them got roasted, but a lot of them did a lot of damage. That poor siege tank going down. 12 workers have been lost so far. Oh, total slip up there from Mr. Dayshi, man. I don't know what he was thinking there, but... Oh, if Golden just did a beautiful play here, I guess, sooner or later, Dayshi decided to move out, decided to have a crack. And Golden just said, you know what, I think he may be moving out or whatever. Maybe he didn't even know that Dayshi had moved out, but he decided to run in. I think he just does this every minute or so just for the hell of it. There's a bunch of Marines scanning around there. Oh, the Widow Mine. Oh, has he seen it? Has Golden seen that Widow Mine? No, he has not. Oh, a full half of the Lings going down there. I thought he saw the Widow Mine, but no, it was just a case of the Lings just stopped for God knows what reason. But they are going to be falling back here, burrowing to force a scan. That is nasty, nasty, nasty. So he's going to send everything back here. Building a missile turret, not even going to be scanning, just going to be building a missile turret. And while he's got all his forces back there for like these 10 lings, now it does decide to do a scan. Obviously, oh, the mutas, they're going to go around the Widow Mine this time instead of over it. Oh, did get a shot off actually because the Overseer was there a little bit sooner than the mutas. Did get owned a little bit. But Overseers have lots of health, so they could take a couple of rockets to the arse and still keep going for a little while. Just like this Overseer is doing, man. A couple of rockets to the arse, keeps on going. The missile turret going down. There is this other missile turret which was scouting those lings, and the mutas sort of kind of doing something, but not really. Getting out of there. Look at this ling, man. Burrowed in the middle of nowhere. I guess you could say he's scouting. Maybe he's pretending he's a Widow Mine or something. He's just like, if the Terrans can do it, then I can do it as well. Just gets down there, burrows, and he's like, alright, when the Marines come on top of me, I'm going to shoot a missile at them. And it's, yeah, he tried. He tried really hard to shoot that missile, but nothing really happened. And, yeah, it just kind of didn't work out. And meanwhile, these Widow Mines are like, oh... Not getting any shots off on the critical mass right there, which is unfortunate, but yeah, still they shot something. Oh, look at all these Banelings just being burrowed there. This is the Widowmine of the Zerg army right there. It can only shoot once, but damn, it does a very, very scary shot. Oh, look-a-dee, 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 look-a-dee. Come on. Golden, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? He's not. Is he going to do it? No, it does not look like it. He's just going to leave him there. Leave him there for a rainy day. Oh, right on top of the bloody Baneling. The Terran player needs to learn that Zerg sort of thing, where the Zergs are constantly on the lookout for shadow, because a shadow means widow mines. They need to be on the lookout for that shadow. Holy crap! Did you see that? 2 widow mine hits on the mutas, critical muta deaths there. That was a worst nightmare for the Zerg. 2 critical hits on a muta. Every single muta had like 1% health left after that attack, and I think half of them just proceeded to die straight away. These Banelings still not moving. It'll be cool when they finally move, but God knows when that's going to happen. And yes, Golden definitely losing a ton of mutas here. Like almost 9,000, over 3,000. He's got the macro, but he doesn't have that much macro ahead of Mr. Dayshi. And it's starting to get brutal here. The Baneling is starting to lift up there. Come on, give us a scan or something like that. There may be more Banelings there. Are they going to move? It doesn't look like it. Oh man, after that beautiful, beautiful snipe of the mutas with the Widow Mines, Dayshi is obviously feeling pretty good about his chances in this game, sending a bunch of units out, moving out there. He's still got the creep to deal with, but he's taken out the creep tumors bit by bit, starting to look good in this game. Let's see if he can keep the juice flowing. Let's see if he can keep the game rolling. And, oh man, if these Banelings jump up and just start rolling in from behind, that is going to be so crazy. The Baneling's going in, a nice medevac pickup. The muta's trying to go for the medevac, not quite getting it. And Dayshi continuing to move forward to press his advantage. The Baneling's still not getting up. I'm just going to keep looking at those guys. What's over here? Just a bunch of chainlings. I thought somehow he managed to squeeze Widow Mines that deep into enemy territory, but it does not appear so. There we go. Another missile turret being repaired. Once the missile turret is being repaired by workers, that's it. It's just GG. The mutas have no chance whatsoever of getting that base down, because it's just, they're just going to take too much damage at that point. Ooh, Ling's going around. The rocks are still up on this base, so we can still definitely take care of this, but he obviously realized that there were some reinforcements coming in to attack this base. Beautiful pickup by Mr. Golden here, but Dayshi is going to use this to his advantage, going to be moving in. But his forces are looking a little bit light on to be this deep in Zerg territory. Is he going to make it out of here alive? I am not sure that he is. He doesn't have almost any units here. And the medevacs ran without even waiting for the Marines and Marauders. The Muta's chasing them. And the Marines and Marauders like, hey, what's going on here? Are we running? Are we staying? What's going on? They're running away, and the Lings are just like, yeah, let's go after the medevacs, man. That sounds like a great idea. Are these guys ever going to die? It seems like the Zerg player is just completely ignoring them or something. There they go. Finally going to get down. Finally going to die. They lasted so long pretty much to just being ignored by the enemy. But, you know, whatever works in the end. Whatever works. Bunch of things going around. They're moving. They're just moving over there. I'm not sure if that's a great idea. I think it maybe is attack move, but yeah. Having a crack. Going in. Pretty much getting owned by the main Terran army. That's what Lings are pretty much supposed to do. Lings either, they do 3 things. They do beautiful harassment, they get morphed into Banelings, or they get destroyed. They don't really do anything else. Occasionally, they'll find their way to a Thor, and they're like, oh my god, is a late game unit that actually counter awesome? But most of the time, they just get shredded by Marines. Bunch of Ultras coming out, very nice. How are the Marauder numbers? They're okay, and they are getting better. 4 being built at a time, which is pretty good. Dayshi really pushing himself out here, though. Really getting out nice and far into the enemy base. Not sure how advisable this is, but he has survived most of the Baneling hits. And the Ultras are starting to look a little bit low. So maybe he'll be able to pull this off if he takes out a base. That would be huge. Looks like this 4th base in a lot of danger right here. The Baneling numbers, are they starting to get low, I think? He's not keeping the Baneling numbers up as much as he probably should. Eventually does see this force off with the mutas and ultras, but the bailing numbers starting to look very light for Mr. Golden. He needs to work on those bailing numbers, or he needs to find some other way to deal with the Marine Marauders. And it looks like Ultra Infesta may be the name of the game right here. It's definitely a very, very good tactic, and it can deal with Marines and Marauders quite effectively. And we got some Bailey's coming out as well. No more mutas being built, which is understandable because they're very, very gas heavy, and with Infestors coming out, you really want to save that gas out for a ton of Infestors. So, yes. I wonder if anybody uses Neural Parasite anymore. I don't think I've seen it in Master Level games for ages. I mean, maybe a Battle Cruiser could be worth it, but a Thor, not really sure, because when you got this many Marines, a Thor would die in like seconds. So, you'd only do it if you want to kill the Thor, and the Thor is just pretty much like meh. The only reason would be if you had max mutas and you wanted to wipe out a bunch of Thors, and the mutas are going to be like, they're going to suck against mass Thors. So you go in there with Neural Parasite, just take over a couple of them, and yeah, that would be an easy way to get rid of a bunch of Thors if you're really, really heavily supporting a muta army. But other than that, I'm not really sure. So, what we got going on? Nice drop over here. This guy decides not to drop on the actual base, decides to just sort of wander over to the God knows where. And these guys, 3 Marines versus 2 Ultras. I'm not sure how that encounter's really going to end up, but something is telling me that the Ultras will probably have enough of an advantage here to take out the Marines. But of course, we aren't taking into account the fact that the Ultras aren't actually attacking the Marines. See, you kind of... It's an interesting sort of dilemma, sort of encounter, because Ultras definitely do counter Marines, but they only counter them in certain circumstances, and it's usually when you actually tell them to attack in the direction of the Marines. If they're not attacking the Marines, then they have a very, very hard time countering them. So it's just a little professional tip if you are playing Marines and you're going up against someone with Ultras, or if you're playing Zerg and you're playing Ultras and you want to use them to counter Marines. Specifically in that point, you definitely need to make sure that you are attacking with the Ultralisks. Otherwise, they're not as good a counter against Marines as you might think of. But yeah, it looks like these guys are, yeah, starting to get into the swing of using the Ultralisk to their full sort of, you know, making sure that they're properly countering everything. Yeah, there we go. Muta's coming down, the medevac dying very, very fast, and those Marines are killing a lot of workers, which is very nice. So the Zerg player starting to lose a serious amount of workers here, starting to be in a serious amount of problems. He's still building workers, which is bad news, because it means that he's saying, yeah, I need those workers, I can't afford to lose those workers. Which is bad, because he is losing them. And the Terran player at this point may just not even bother to replace the workers. He's just like, meh, who gives a crap? I'll use that 50 extra supply for building army, and then just own stuff. He's actually throwing workers away at this point. He needs that extra supply. But Golden, look at this, another spine crawler. Loves that base defense, wants to keep this base alive as much as possible. Nice scans, the creep going down. The Ultras chasing after them. Oh my god, there is nothing funnier than units being chased by an Ultra. It is just absolutely hilarious. Especially like Terran units like the Marauders. Because the Marauders, whenever they're running at something, especially when they're stimmed, they always look like they're really in a hurry. Like they're so big and bulky, but they're always running really, really fast. And they just look so comical. I mean, take a look at these bloody Marauders running around. Let's just see this guy running, man. He's just so funny. It's just like, oh, really? He's really, really huge, but he's really, really fast. He's swinging his arms all over the place. He's just like, oh, let's get into it. Oh. He's just, oh, man, that voice is so retarded. But that's how the Marauders look. They're just like, oh, let's get into it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's get some stuff done. Everything is beautiful. It's a wonderful day for combat. Let's do it. Oh. And it's hilarious when they're going into attack, but it's even more hilarious when they're running away from an Ultralisk. It's... It's just like, oh, I'm getting the hell out of there, man. These things are too freaking huge. It's just too crazy. Have we actually got the bonus armor for the bloody bunkers? I do believe we do. It's going crazy. Ultras are just like, oh man, we were talking about, I think it was previous game, like yesterday's game, we were talking about puppy dogs going crazy whenever somebody gets to the door. These are like the ultimate crazy puppy dogs, except this is like 100 times bigger than a bloody Saint Bernard. So when you walk in the door and there's an Ultralisk and the Ultralisk is ultra excited to see you, you know you are in for a rough time. Oh man, the Dayshi is starting to be in a rough time here. The Ultralisks are really starting to turn it around. His income is still absolutely craptacular, but the Ultras and the Fungals are really, really starting to make it a bit nasty for Mr. Dayshi. And this bunker armor, I'm not really sure it helped too much, but we will have to see. 62 over 37. Army-wise, pretty close. 14 and 34, very, very decent amount. Golden is looking a little bit light. He does have a lot of Lings, which is making up for a lot of his army. Ling's not really all that good against this army so much. I mean, as we said, they're good for harassment, banelings, and dying. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, Ling's not really too much. I don't know if he's going to start morphing them into banelings. He kind of needs to. I mean, the Ultra Fungal sort of play is kind of working. We saw a couple of Fungals going over there, but they kind of missed everything. So the Ultra Fungal is starting to fall apart. I think the Infestor number is starting to go down a little bit. How many does he have? I can't see him. 3 at this point, with 3 more on the way. So Golden's really, really struggling at this point to get things going his way. And Dayshi starting to look a lot better. The gas income, oh man. Does he realize that he needs more gas income on these bases? Does he? I don't think he does. And there's no gas on this thing, man. He needs to put his gas together because his gas income is crap. And I'm not sure if he realizes that he's actually screwing up the mining on this basis because, yeah, that's really affecting him at this point. He so badly needs gas. I'm not sure if he's building anything that really needs gas. Maybe he's not. If he's just building Marauders and Marines, then he probably doesn't need it. But for stuff like tanks and all that sort of crap, he definitely needs that sort of crap going on. Dropping on the high ground. Very, very interesting play. It's going to be good at sniping Marauders and, sniping Ultras. Look at all this stuff going on. We got the Vipers putting the green crap down. That was nice. I think it helped him take out a couple of tanks there, but the Marines continuing to sort of just plow in there. And, oh, speaking of snowplows, wouldn't the Ultralisk make an awesome snowplow? It's just like, it's like nature's snowplow. That's what the Ultralisk is. It just runs through and it just sort of just makes weird noises with its mouth and just plows snow all over the place. It's just like, oh man, nature's snowplow, the Ultralisk. What a beautiful unit. And that's it. Game done, and Dayshi eventually getting through there and just doing a lot of excellent stuff there. Golden, just, yeah, I mean, he tried really hard, but I think the destruction of his worker numbers over the length of the game really screwed him over, and his workers have been this low for like 10 minutes. So he held on for as long as he could. And he never really got back up, and I'm sure if he had got back up, that Dayshi would have just smacked him around again. And yeah, that's it. I think the macro was most of the reason that Golden lost. Unfortunate, but he held out, and he did a pretty good job other than losing all those workers. So really good stuff. So that's it. Beautiful game today. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with another one. Stay tuned for that.